The 2023 Israel-Hamas War, a recent conflict. In 2023, a new chapter in the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict unfolded, marking a devastating and tragic period in the broader Israeli-Palestinian struggle. Leading up to the outbreak of the 2023 Israel-Hamas War, the region witnessed an escalation of violence. Several clashes, particularly in Jenin, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and Gaza, resulted in the loss of nearly 250 Palestinian lives and 36 Israelis. Concurrently, the continued expansion of Israeli settlements added to the tensions in the region. These events served as a backdrop for the tragic conflict that was about to unfold. Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, cited these events as justification for their actions. They called on Palestinians to join the fight, seeking to expel the occupiers and demolish the walls. In response to the growing tensions and the call to arms by Hamas, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared states of emergency and war, vowing mighty vengeance against what he labeled as terrorism. As a response to the crisis, Israel formed a national unity government, uniting various political factions to address the looming conflict. The early hours of the conflict were marked by a dramatic escalation in hostilities. Palestinian militants launched a barrage of at least 5,000 rockets into Israeli territory, creating chaos and destruction. The conflict took a heavy toll on both sides. At least 1,200 Israelis lost their lives, including a tragic massacre at a music festival where over 260 civilians perished. Within the first 3 days of hostilities, the impact was devastating. At least 900 Palestinians lost their lives in gunfights and airstrikes, including 260 children among the civilian casualties. The United Nations reported that over 263,000 Palestinians, more than a tenth of Gaza's population, were displaced since the start of the conflict. Fears of a humanitarian crisis intensified after Israel cut off food, water, electricity, and fuel supplies to the already blockaded Strip. The conflict triggered varied international reactions. Several nations, including Western countries, condemned Hamas for the violence, labeling its tactics as terrorism. Conversely, other nations, particularly from the Muslim world, cited the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories and the denial of Palestinian self-determination as the root cause of the escalation. Some demanded de-escalation and a ceasefire. Notably, Human Rights Watch condemned both Hamas's and Israel's conduct as war crimes. In response, the United States government announced its support for Israel, deploying military assets to the region and providing additional military equipment and ammunition. The conflict also spilled over into Lebanon, with clashes reported between Hezbollah and Al-Quds Brigade's forces and Israeli forces on 8 and 9 October. The 2023 Israel-Hamas War represents another chapter in the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a stark reminder of the complexity and human cost of this protracted struggle. We thank you for watching this segment and encourage you to stay informed and engaged with the evolving situation in the Middle East and the broader context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.